everybody, it's me, Shelly Ong, doing an impromptu live stream for Music and Chat with Shelly Ong. Again, I might look a little untidy / disheveled, but I spent a long day in rainy conditions with my good friend Hisayoshi, who took me on foot to various interesting places on my day off. It's a Saturday in Japan and it's right now 7 p.m., which should be 6 p.m. in Singapore, perhaps 8 p.m. in Australia, but 6 a.m. on the east coast of America. And I am going to make sure I plug my computer in, so just bear with me for a while I show you something else, maybe a Facebook. Oh, this is my Bandcamp site. So let me turn me off while I plug my computer in. Done like a dinner, as they say. So yes, it's been a rainy old day, and I left my compact umbrella at Chris Carell's place, and his wife messaged me and said, "You left your umbrella here. Maybe you better ask the hotel if they could lend you one." And of course she was right. So this morning I asked Hisayoshi when he met me at the lobby. I said, should I try and get an umbrella? He nodded his head furiously. So I walked over to the reception, and the gentleman who served me that was most agreeable, very polite, and immediately handed me over your ubiquitous long-armed umbrella with the transparent fabric, or whatever you call it. And most people carry one of those because there's so many people, you don't really want to walk into anybody while you're carrying an umbrella, so they make it out of transparent materials, so you get your coverage. You're covered from the rain, you're protected from the rain, but at the same time you're protecting yourself and other people from poking your umbrella in their eyes and vice versa. And I thought that was pretty smart, so I had one of those. So I took several videos as I walked. I am a traveler first, then a videographer. So I usually don't set out to document things on video before I get to enjoy them in person. So excuse me for them being a little raw, and many times they've captured pictures of my feet, or Hisayoshi's feet, or someone else's foot, or other things, umbrellas or bags or shirts or back of a person. But I am also short, as you have probably noticed, and there are a lot of tall people in Japan, contrary to popular belief. You have your petite people, but you have your very, very tall people, extremely tall people, who often walk in front of me because it is so congested. And I remember 2 years ago when Japan first lifted its restrictions, pandemic restrictions, I was one of the first people who entered the country, and the streets were a little bare. But this year I had to be so careful, and fortunately Japan has some rules for pedestrians, so it helped a lot, such as sticking to the right side of an elevator when you're standing on it, or if you're walking down an alley, preferably if you can walk on the left side, so that there's traffic coming from the other side that's on the left side if you're facing the other side. So I think you know what I mean. Anyway, is anyone out there? Oh, hi, Polycon from Netherlands. So nice to see you. Yes, Sergey. I just spotted, I just spotted you, and I didn't realize someone was up there. But hey, Sergey, I'm just gonna put your little hello down here on the screen. It's so good to see my friends, my virtual friends. I've taken a bit of time off from doing music and chat because I was putting the finishing touches to my fifth album, as you know. And this is the fifth album, as you know, Miss Oriented Metaphor. Let me just move me down here. So that's my new album that I just released. Actually, it's more like 2 months ago. And I've been busy working on it, completing it. As you know, I'm composer, arranger, producer, and the lot, designer, marketeer, and just like all of us indie artists. So I haven't been working on music and chat, but I shall begin again. I wanted to take this time to visit my friends here in Japan, and I hadn't been here back since my last trip, which was 2 years ago. So I figured I shall live stream from here. And as you know, I did promise that when I reached 1,000 subscribers that I would stream. Okay, everyone, I'm just going to... Oh, here you go. The phone was like... I hope you can still hear me. Yeah, I see the LEDs. LEDs, the level. So I'm gonna say, so I had to plug and unplug my phone. I'm using the phone microphone for this stream, but it was down to like a few bars left of battery power because, as you know, I've been out the whole day in videoing and also being a tourist. So I just wanted to make sure it was plugged in properly, and it wasn't. And it gave me the little mini heart flutter to say, oh no, it's out of juice, better plug it in now. So excuse me. So, hey, so good to see you. Anyone else out there? I'm also looking for recommendations for guests I can interview on my music and chat. Always keeping an eye out for anyone who's exciting and might have some fun stuff to talk about. But before I switcheroo to videos that I took today, I just want to go back to my Bandcamp site and say, if you're interested in downloading the album, please do so. I'll be most grateful. I wrote it to share with you. So if you feel excited about this fifth album, because you can actually audition the tracks before you hit the buy button. If you're excited about this album and you really want to support me, please do so by following the instructions on Bandcamp. Okay, so it is, as I said, it's now 7 o'clock in Japan, and I just got back from my little foot travel around a few cities in Japan, at least around the Tokyo area. And I have myself a bento box, which I shall partake of as I talk to you, if that's okay, like I did yesterday, where I had my dinner while I live stream. And I felt like that lady. I don't know if she's from China or Korea or Japan. There's a lady on YouTube. I think it's YouTube. I might be wrong. There's several social media platforms, but it's one of those which broadcasts video, and she shows herself eating. And she had a lot of fans. I don't know what it is about people watching other people eat, but if that is your entertainment, by all means, and I will join her. I got Tiny little one with faux, I believe it's like made from jelly. It's faux, shivers. I can't remember the name of roll. That's right. Egg, a fish roll. It's fake. It's not real. So don't get your knickers in a knot. It's a bento box with sushi. So here's my bite. Cheers. So, Hisayoshi and I went to a few interesting places in Tokyo, as I said. And of course, these interesting places have accommodated the tourists. And unlike 2 years ago when I was here, they just filled up every available space. And the first place we went to was this place called Ameyoko, which is like an open style, I don't know how you say, like a pharmacy stuff. They have fresh vegetables, oranges, of course, restaurant style stuff, and but they're there to accommodate almost anyone from any part of the world, which is to say, while I was walking down the alleys, there were Chinese food places. There were like Lebanese food places, so catering to halal, the halal diet. You name them, you've got them, and I heard so much English it wasn't funny. When I came to Japan, to hear English and Chinese spoken. But it was interesting because I kind of got to eavesdrop on what the other tourists were up to. And oh yeah, and of course there were the tax-free shops. You know, I have not done any tax-free shopping in Japan, but 2 years ago when I had entered Japan, we had, because there's still COVID situations to deal with, so the complexity of filling up the custom forms and immigration forms and all that kind of stuff, it was a little bit more time consuming. There's more effort involved, and you ended up with like a little icon that it's either blue or red. I think it's like it's like the Matrix, blue or red, and you would display the end result whether you had a blue square or red square to immigration, and they would say, okay, over here or whatever it is. And I remember when I entered Japan, I had got myself a data only SIM card back then, and it didn't work when I alighted from the plane. And I got really frantic because, you kind of follow the line as they move, and if you need help, it's a little too far in to try and start again kind of situation. So I had a really nice gentleman behind me who allowed me to kind of piggyback on his hotspot, which I was eternally grateful for because, I would have been like throwing my hands up in the end. But this time, I got an eSIM. So for those of you who are interested in the whole concept of just, activating your SIM with your phone, make sure the phone is unlocked. Look it up if you're not sure what that means. So it can't be tethered to any particular network provider, whatever you want to call it. For example, in the States it would be AT&T, for example. And it can't be locked to AT&T, then it's, or tethered to AT&T. In that case, it's not unlocked. So I have, and for those of you who are interested, I have 3 SIMs on my phone because I travel between Singapore and the US. So I have 2 SIMs, and I installed an eSIM for data in Japan. So I could activate the eSIM while in Singapore, but not turn on the line till I got to Japan. So there's no fear of using up your data or roaming unnecessarily or accidentally. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. So this time they do QR codes in Japan. So you fill up the form about your customs, your immigration, and if you want tax-free shopping, which is why I brought this up, it'll take a scan of your passport, and you end up with a QR code, which on alighting from the plane and joining everyone in the line, you show it to immigration officer, and he does what he needs to do. At Immigration Japan is also collecting biometrics. I don't recall this 2 years ago, but if you're watching this, you're interested in what I went through. They set up 3 or 4 biometric gathering stalls. So instead of the immigration officer capturing it, they have these little stalls before you reach the edge where you're ready to be served by the different counters of officers, if you know what I mean. Just before that, you get your fingerprints done, your photo taken, and then away you go. So this is up to date as of when I left, October the 2nd, 2024. If in the future anyone watches this and they're curious about what I went through, or they are trying to travel to Japan right now and they want some information, that's the information. There are some videos, maybe 2 I found, or even 1, that went through the steps to getting that QR code. So please refer to those, and thank you to those people who made the effort to put those videos together. So I also, for those who are interested, installed a digital Suica. A Suica card is like a prepaid, or not prepaid, I guess in a way it is. It's a stored value card. I don't know how else to put it. So it's mainly used for public transport. So if you catch trains and buses, most trains, I think there are a couple of trains that don't do Suica, where you have to actually purchase the tickets, and have them in hand. But the Suica card, there are 2 versions of the Suica. So the Suica, you put money on it, and you can pay, you scan it, you kind of tap scan it at the gantries, I think, or whatever you call them, at when you enter the train station, and when you exit, you tap in, tap out, and it takes the fare from you, and you're done with. So, but you can also use it at convenience stores. And many cafes use it. You just need to look for the Suica icon. So I'm going to ramble on and not show you pictures because this is an impromptu thing about what I've done, today, but I figured you guys might be curious. So until recently, it seems this is the info I got. There was an IC shortage in Japan, so there was a lack of Suica cards, so I decided to use the Suica in my Apple Wallet because I have an iPhone. There's a Suica app, but the app's all in Japanese right now. So I hunted high and low to figure out, I don't read Japanese. Or I might read a little of the kanji, but I didn't really want to get myself in a hot soup accidentally, kind of outsmarting myself. So I found a couple of videos that, or actually maybe one videos there were forum questions, like forum thread of people wanting to know how they can figure a way to get in English. So the answer was to install it in your Apple Wallet. You don't even download the Suica app. You just go to the Apple Wallet, look for travel or transit card, I think. Look under Japan and the Suica is there, and lo and behold, you can top up in English. So there are two Suica cards if you want a physical one. There's the welcome Suica for tourists, which is red in color, and you don't have to put a deposit on it, but it expires in 28 days. And then you have the regular person Suica card, which is green in color, and that's the one that you can find if you want to use a digital card from your Apple Wallet. Okay, I'm going to move on. So those are some of the things I wish someone had told me, but because I was a bit concerned, but I found the info and I'm just sharing it with you. I'm going to have a little bit of food now. Hold on. I'm going to get my other bite of my bento box. Yummy. It's amazing how fresh the seafood is here and how tasty the rice is. Even when I buy, Japanese rice and do all the right things myself, it just doesn't quite taste the same. Hey Suye, thanks for your patience and being there. I hope you're still there. So I'm going to show you some footage of what I went to today. So many years ago when I was working in the multimedia company, industry, and with the company, I supported our Japanese distributors. And I came here, maybe Tokyo, a couple of times at least. And one of them, I visited Akihabara, which is like electronics land. And I don't have any recollection of it. So Hisayoshi, when we, got out of the train station, he turned back and looked at me. And he went, "It's changed. It's totally changed." We said all the old stuff has disappeared and it's all new. So I'm going to show you some of the footage. Again, it's raw, but so let me just get some volume here. So this is the first one. Again, it's unedited. I just downloaded it from my phone. So you see, the camera. So I used my phone camera and I held it against my chest because I'm holding an umbrella at the same time and a backpack. And there were lots of people and the umbrellas kept on hitting other people, so I had to hold it close to my chest. And as I said, I'm a traveler first and then a videographer. So I wasn't trying to get great footage. I just want to document what I saw. So here's the first one. We're walking out into Akihabara. And there are a few of them, so I'll run through a few of them. So this is the first one. For those of you who've been there, you might notice some changes. So see how the extremely tall buildings. Once in a while you might hear Hisayoshi and I chatter in the video. So that's, oops. So that was the first video. Let me find the next one. So this is an alley where there's still some of the old gods there, you know, people selling, you know, transistors, capacitors, wires, and whatnot. So you see, this is the one where I noticed there was some of the old gods still there. But a lot shut down. I'm not sure. So you see here. Your electronics. And that noise you can hear, that's the train going above the shops.
It's like a Pascal Mania and or anime.
Oh, okay. Crazy.
A lot of small parts shop.
Games. This is like a gamer's paradise.
Now,
Yeah, everything's sky high. And that was the one, that was the part of the environment that Hisayoshi went wow about, how things look so different.
Another alley. In Hisayoshi, all the small shops are closed. It's now gone sky high. Ubiquitous drinks dispenser.
thank you, Tokyo.
Japan is like a land in itself. Its culture and all, it's so unique. And I think that's the most interesting part of, you know, visiting new countries. Not saying new, but different countries, that you discover that not only is the humanity's tapestry is so varied and so colorful and so exciting, and that there's so much to learn from them. There's so much, and everyone is excited about their own culture, their own country, their own land, and they have their own reasons for upkeeping their culture, upkeeping their land, and so on and so forth. But definitely when you come to Japan, it's like a little anime in itself. But what interested me as well as I trained from the airport is that a lot of the buildings are kind of brown. They're not made to look aesthetically, or they're not made to stand out aesthetically from the rest. But then the neighborhood that I visited in Kichijoji, they're a little different as well. So I don't want to conclude nor give you a false idea. So I shall continue to explore, and just like any country, I guess you have, areas where there's some architectural forethought, I suppose, in it, because maybe the neighbors or the neighborhood is that way inclined, and then there are others where it is not. So yeah, so that's all I want to say about the architecture. I guess I'm umming and ahhing because I realize I have not seen enough to be able to give you a good summary. But yeah, it's, when people say, oh, I've seen Australia on TV and I know what Australia is about, and people have asked me, do you have kangaroos on the roads? And you think that's an absurd thought, but a lot of us are educated by what we see in the media, so I wasn't surprised that I had a question like that. So if you think that you'll be seeing a lot of geisha girls or young ladies dressed as anime characters, that kind of situation, then you're wrong. But which is not to say there's a lot of interest in capturing the culture, or the pop culture, I guess you could say, in the form of the appearance in dress or song, etc., etc. Okay, I got more videos I captured. Let's see what's next. Okay, this one needs to be, this one is on an angle. Let me see if I can load it up here. I don't think I can load it up here. Alright, I have to skip that one. Let's play this one. Oh, that was a short one. This is more of Akihabara. So we happen to visit this building, and we saw gaming machines, like a video arcade, on the ground level or the first level, whichever country you live in, you call it differently. So we decided to go up, and that's when we were surprised by what we saw. machines manifested in this manner. It was quite funny. What's next? So our next stop was the Netsu Museum. You can look this museum up, Nezu. And the collector of the pieces in this museum decided to collect artifacts that, at least in this display, this I guess I can't. Display is the only one I can think of. They would show some history. So, for example, there's a string of ceramics being displayed, and it started from China in the 7th or 8th century, and how China was the first that came up with the potential of creating ceramic pots and bowls and cups and things. And they showed how lead was used to glaze the ceramics to give them a whiter appearance, and how that then trickled down to Korea and Japan, that kind of thing. They also showed a representation of various brass artifacts. And Hisayoshi and I were looking at one which looked like a huge urn, but decorative. And there was a spout. There was a spout and a little hole at the other end where you fill it with alcohol. And this is made of brass. So in the blurb it said, you put, I think it was wine, flavor, and water. So I jokingly told Hisayoshi, that's a cocktail maker. So anyway, so this museum is in the city called Ueno, 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 and the Ueno is like, I think I called it the I can't remember now, but I remember this little neighborhood in California where you have, where the rich live kind of situation, and that's where you get all your old couture stores. Anyway, as we walked down, I realized this was one of those, so here it goes.
The Ginza train line, we're going to the Netsu Museum. Influenced restaurants rather than the Japanese place that we've been seeing. It's over here, I don't know. Right at past Ellen McCartney. Flanking. This shop is Converse Tokyo. Miyaki over here. This makes an 8-minute walk to the museum. Very boring. Huh. So maybe people. I'm not showing my ignorance. Full picture. And have a dance studio. Akihabara, this is like, I don't know, I think this is Fifth Avenue. Maybe like Beverly Hills. Museum.
Well, the museum, as I said earlier on, was spectacular. It costs 1,400 yen to get in. So that's about like, I don't know, at the exchange rate currently it could be 11 US dollars, 12 US dollars. 11, I think, is closer to 11 US dollars. And it's quite an extensive, hefty collection. So if you have a chance to and you're here in Japan, go check it out. What's my next one? So this is the garden. That's a beautiful garden as well in the Netsu Museum, and there's lovely Japanese maple trees there. And it seems that, of course, during the fall season, it's just beautiful red. And hear how quiet it is. Alright, on to the next one. Oh, this is Shibuya. Those of you who have seen the crazy crossing from all sides of the crossing, this is the crossing. I did the crossing 2 years ago, but it's so different from the way it is today because there are heaps of people there.
Shibuya is right now about 5 o'clock, I think. Just go around the train station and just packed with people for some unknown reason. But there have been a lot of tourists from all over the world. So, back to our old haunt from 2 years ago. And here's that crazy crossing that we saw 2 years ago. So, we're gonna cross that crazy crossing again, I guess. I'm not saying I guess in a mean way, but just... And here's Machiko, right? Machiko is that cute little dog who would wait for his master at the train station every day, remember? Maybe one day the master never returned for obvious earthly reasons. And the dog was enshrined in a statue right outside the train station. There we go. This crazy crossing. inside. Compared to 2 years ago, this is crazy. Right?
Alright, next. I wonder what this one is. Oh, we went to Paco in Shibuya. There's this building called Paco, P-A-R-C-O, and they have all the gaming stuff. They have Pokemon, they had Nintendo. It's merch. They sell merch. All kinds of merch to appease all fans. I didn't buy anything. I had initially thought I'd look for little Miss Miku, the Vocaloid singer, but I didn't find it, obviously. At this point, I want to say, it looks like also from the Netherlands. Hold on, let me move this. Dread Red Earth Dragon, hey you! It's nice to see. I haven't been streaming in a while because, as I was saying, I've been busy with my album, which is now out. If you haven't heard it, it's on my Bandcamp site, and as you can see, it's shaleong.bandcamp.com. And yeah, you can hear it without having to buy it, but if you want to support me, and I'll be eternally grateful, it can be downloaded here. So, those of you who are watching, please go check it out if you haven't already. And in case you are here wondering what I'm up to, I'm in Japan, specifically I'm in Kichijoji in Japan, and it's a beautiful little city. And I spent 2 days with my good friend Chris Carell working on some music with a potential for performing it the next time I'm here. I am also visiting a couple other friends. Today I spent the day with Hisayoshi, who was with me 2 years ago, who showed me some parts of Tokyo. And today we looked at other parts in Tokyo and also revisited Shibuya. And my last video was about Shibuya. And the video I'm going to show now is of Paco in Shibuya, a building that specializes in and only has your dream come true merch for gamers. I never thought I would find a place like it, but so we entered the Nintendo one first. So, actually here you can see, I just slow it down a bit. Here you can actually see the Pokemon stuff, I believe, before we enter the Nintendo store.
This is a Nintendo shop at the top of Paco. Nintendo merchandise. We have the Super Mario Brothers here. Can you believe it's still around and kicking? Wow, Super Mario Brothers.
think the last one I took off was my quick stroll around Pokemon.
Here's the Pokemon Center, just next to the Nintendo one, and it's its design lab by looks of it. Interesting. Let's see what we got inside. As I said, the crowd shows fairly big. Plushies, plush toys. I just got little stuffed toys. It's a merchling. Stickers. You have the stickers.
So there you go. That's what I did today. Part of it, because I didn't capture the walk down the tourist attraction in Ueno called Ameyoko or something like that. Ameyoko. Excuse me. Or to let down my windpipe. I have been streaming for 53 minutes now, so I'm gonna call it a night because it's almost 8 o'clock p.m. in Japan. I'm not sure what time it is in the Netherlands, but it's great to see you, Polycon, aka Sergey, and Dreadrat Earth Dragon. I forgot your first name, Dreadrat. So, anyone else watching, thank you so much for keeping me company as well. Again, in my hotel room in Kichijoji, Japan, and I do have some other videos, but I might show it tomorrow. So it depends on what I have tomorrow. If there's anything exciting, I shall stream again. If there's nothing exciting, I'll wait for another day. But I also want to thank my subscribers for helping me reach 1,000. I have 1,010 subscribers, and I'm very grateful that you have liked and subscribed to my channel, because I worked very hard to make it entertaining and yet meaningful to me. As you know, I have a lot of interests, and it starts losing focus, but hey, you know, that's who I am. Oh, Dreadrat, thanks. He's saying that in Netherlands it's almost 1 p.m. And thanks for telling me, informing me, and reminding me that your first name is Robert. So Robert and Sergey, thanks so much for tuning in. I guess when I stream at night, it's conveniently your midday. So if I stream in the morning, it's inconvenient for you because it'll be some early hours of the day, right? Anyway, before I go, I just want to say, if you guys want to look at or listen to my new album, it's on my Bandcamp site. If not, it's on my YouTube site as well. Let me just show you what I mean, since you're already there. Here it is, Misoriented Metaphor. It's also on my YouTube site. Thanks, Robert. Robert says, have a good evening, night, and I shall do that because I have another day tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to scour the alleys of Kichijoji Station because Japanese train stations have these underground matrix style walkways and shops and eateries, and I want to explore that on my own for a change. I have a very little grasp of Japanese. I know how to say excuse me, like sumimasen. I know how to say arigato gozaimasu, and that kind of stuff. Yes is hi and no is ie. That kind of stuff. No sentences, just like barking orders. But is there anything else? Oh, I want to share with you the tea I was drinking. It's a sweet honey tea. I don't know if you can see it. I tore away the tea. There you go. Here, sweet honey tea. It's really nice. It's sweet. I'm not accustomed to sweet tea, but this is quite enjoyable. So anyway, I shall conclude the hour of my live stream with have a good evening or good morning. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And thanks, Sergey and Robert, for joining me. I don't feel so alone. I feel like I have my friends with me. Okay then, I shall bid you adieu and I hope to see you again. I'm gonna try and stream again tomorrow about the same time. So if you guys are up, please join me. Okay, have a great evening, great midday, have a great morning. Alright, bye.